Hey, Sonya Boo. Hey, twin. What's going on, girl? Look, I'm a little bit late a few minutes, but I'm here. And I'm going to wait on a few people to come in because right now it's just us. And then um, this stream yard be so slow and behind this stream yard chat. Hopefully it won't be too far. It won't lag too much. Also, you got plenty of energy. But we gonna wait. Hey, Zion. Okay, I sure will. Hey, Keisha Boo. What's going on, girl? Hey, y'all. And if, of course, if you haven't already done so, please hit the like button for me. How are you guys doing today? Look, I'm trying to get ready to get this thing started for us, y'all. I hope y'all been having a good day. Now it's actually getting ready to storm a little bit here. So hopefully um it won't mess with my Wi-Fi too much. Cause y'all know I have Spectrum and they like to play a little bit. Right. Yeah, so if y'all haven't already seen it, um Sonya had a premiere today where she did the magnetic lashes. And she did pretty good. Now, she's not really, she don't normally do the the makeup thing because she's a natural beauty, but I think she did a great job. Hey Velvet, welcome. Thank you for coming in, y'all. So I'm not gonna prolong it too much longer, y'all, because of course we don't need a bunch of people to talk about, stuff that we all been through, that we all go through. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys saw by the title of the live that we're gonna be digging into toxic relationships a little bit more. I did release a video last night where we talked about, or where I talked about um, toxic traits and things that we may notice in our relationship. Hey Tanya, what's going on? Yeah, so this live is gonna be a slight extension of that. And I'm not gonna keep y'all too long, but I do want us to just kind of talk about it, get some, you know, get our wheels turning when it comes down to it. Because I mean, how many of us have been where, we started off a relationship and everything just seemed all great and cool and sweet, and it just feel like it's gonna be everything. Like we look, this might be it for real. Everything starts out smooth, and then all of a sudden things slowly start changing, and things start going a little bit left, and then next thing that nice feeling you had before isn't all that nice. I know a lot of people feel like in relationships, we're not supposed to have fights, we're not supposed to have problems, but that does happen. Hey, Bambi, thank you for coming in, boo. But a lot of people feel like in relationships, if you have a fight or argument, then it's like, oh hell, you know, things about to go crazy, and that's not always the case. And then we have some people who ignore red flags, who ignore things that come up, and you know, we try to sometimes we try to step outside of the box. Well, I'm gonna take a chance with this person, or well, people make mistakes and people do this and people do that. So some things we overlook. Hey, Shamani. Hey, Tanira Boo. So yeah, so sometimes we'll find ourselves in these new relationships where we're giving people chances who may not necessarily deserve it. But I mean, it's a new relationship, so we don't know. Um, and then sometimes it's not even a new relationship. It can be someone you've been with for a long time, and then all of a sudden things start to change. So what I kind of want to talk about, y'all, is I'm going to get your input. I want y'all to talk about some situations you've been in, some things you've experienced that were toxic traits and things you've noticed, and how y'all handled it. Because my thing is, there may be toxic traits. Hey, B Charmer, we may have toxic traits in our relationship, but does that have to be a deal breaker? Does that have to be the end of the relationship? Or are we grown enough? Are we strong enough? Is love enough to get us through it, for us to work through it? Do we care enough to do that? So that being said, one thing that I do want to ask y'all is, have you ever identified your own toxic traits within a relationship? Like, you've been dating with someone for a while, and then you notice, yourself doing some off the wall stuff where you may have said something real slick at the mouth, and you're like, dang, I probably shouldn't have said that. Or you did something that was sneaky, you know uh invading privacy. Have you done something that you've noticed? And if so, what was it? What did you do? If you don't mind sharing. I know me in the past, I've done things like, going through phones. Um, I've done stuff where I got mad over something that I really wasn't didn't care about. It was just me being an asshole, me picking. Now let's see. Keisha said yes, she has. Sonya says yes, I have. Um, Sonya says I don't like when men get too comfortable too fast. Mm. Now that I can understand. Now, and I think that actually can go both ways, because I mean, us as women, we as women, we like to be catered to. We like to be chased and things like that when it comes down to men. But do women sometimes get too comfortable? Because I think that can go both ways. So what do y'all think about that? Hey, Mark, thank you for coming in. So right now, the question that I've asked everyone is: have you ever identified your own toxic traits within a relationship? Caught yourself doing something that you knew was like just out of order. You knew it was messed up. You knew it was wrong, but you were doing it anyway. And I was just saying, one of the things that I've caught myself doing is, like I said, invading privacy, where I may have gone through a phone, or like I said, also being petty. Oh, now Tanya says I gave him my number Friday, and he called 8 times by Sunday. I blocked him. Hmm. Well, geez. Yeah, that may be a little bit excessive. If you gave him your number Friday and he called 8 times by Sunday, geez. Now Shamani says don't want to admit it, but yes. Now Shamani, that's a thing right there. She said don't want to admit it, but yes. Now that's a. I'm glad you said that, Shamani, because that's where a lot of people struggle. We do not want to admit when we're wrong. We do not want to admit when it's us that's creating the problem, because it's so easy to blame it on other people. Like Keisha says, yeah, I would catch myself just being evil to the person for no reason, saying evil stuff, and then that's when I realize I really don't like you. Mm, okay. Now that's something. So that's now Keisha. That's very toxic. Where you just going in making this person feel bad, and and it's all because you just don't like them. So instead of walking away, you're making them feel bad. Now that that's definitely a toxic trait, and I'm glad you recognized that, Keisha. Keisha, what did you do as a result of that? Once you realized that it was just because you didn't like them, did you continue to do it, or did you eventually walk away? Tanira says it's going through phones toxic. Going through a phone, Tanira, can be very toxic if you're going through it with the intent to find some kind of to find something to act a fool about, find something for you to be mad about. If you think really, if you just don't trust them, that's a sign of lack of trust. So something is wrong somewhere if you feel the need to go through it. You're looking for something. You're looking for the I got you. I knew you were doing something, and they may not be doing anything because you may actually find a text message that's between a relative, and then you just go off on it, and it's like, well, that was my cousin. Why you mad? Now, Muck says purposely asking for unrealistic things and flipping out when it's not um, when it's not met. Mm, yeah. Now that is definitely toxic too. Wanting somebody to do something they can't do, and then get mad at them because they're not, doing but backflips and creating miracles and all this stuff, trying to make it happen. Yeah. Velvet says, I play my part and walk away. Justice says. Mm. Now, Velvet, saying you walk away just as fast. Now, is that an issue? Because if we are always walking away, how do we ever learn to actually fight for a relationship and deal with it? So at the first, so does that mean that at the first sign of trouble, are you leaving a relationship, or do you semi try to um, see what you can do to make it work? Now, Sonia says I didn't investigate it via my ex phone, pulled up the phone records, being slick at the mouth, and that was at the end of the relationship. Mm. Keisha, I'm sorry, excuse me. Oh, okay, okay, Zion. Keisha says it didn't feel right. I can disrespect you. I can't see the man in you. If I can disrespect you, I can't see the man in you. Mm. See, Tanir says, I'm nosy, but it's also a lack of trust and insecurities for sure. You're right. Hey, Lord, thank you for coming. Mukbang says, jump through hurdles. Right. You be wanting them to do that. And sometimes, y'all, what's so crazy is toxic traits can come from us wanting to, for me, Mug, I think that would probably come from wanting them to prove to you how much they love you, and instead of actually having that conversation. Well, if you love me, you will do this. You will make that happen. It's a matter of making them prove to you, you know what I'm saying, that they love you, proving to you that they're worthy of your time. So I mean, it does say a lot about us. Let's see. Velvet says after trying, then I walk away. All right, Velvet, I'm going to revisit you on that in just a second. Shamani says, I'm talking in a way of toxic, in a way of leading on people that I don't see any future with. So wasting their time. So you already know that it's not going to work. Yet you kind of try to stick it out with them. Now that is definitely uh, something that a lot of people do, Shamani. They're just, wasting people's time, dragging things on. They already know that they're not invested, but instead of putting their big girl, panties on or the big boy underwear and being a man or woman about it, they just um continue to let things fester and let things grow and lead these people on thinking that it's a future and it's nothing. Let's see. Now Zion said people can say they love you, but they have to show it by their action. Now that is true. Action definitely speak louder than words. But what about in cases where people don't know how to show you? Like they never learn how to do that. This is their first time actually being in love or being in a relationship, you know, that may be or may not be healthy. Like for instance, if all of their previous relationships were garbage, what if they don't know how to show you the right way? Now Muck says, no, sometimes those toxic traits are just us being assholes. And you're right, it can be us being assholes. But why are you being an asshole? That comes from something. You being an asshole come from you being bitter, mad, or feeling some type of way about something. People don't. I don't think people wake up in the morning and just say, "Huh, I'm an asshole today. I can feel it. I feel great. I feel like an asshole." Sometimes I feel. This is my personal belief. I feel like people who are being assholes have some type of thing already going on. So, like to me, I think it goes back to the whole saying, "Hurt people, hurt people." Animal Lover says it goes with friendships as well. If I give my time and don't get the same in return, then I am done. Let's see. Velvet says, Muck, I've been told plenty of times I act like a man and I don't respond the way respond the way a woman should. Now, Sonya says she is. Some people do. Animal Lover says, I am an asshole and I ain't afraid to say it. Let's see. And so, based on what Muck, Sonya, and Laura just said, okay, Laura just says, I am an asshole and I ain't afraid to say it. Okay, so with that being said, matching with Muck says being an asshole is a trait some people just are and don't give a fuck. To me, I think being an asshole is um is a form of defense. It's a way of not allowing people to get to you. So instead of, you know, allowing someone to hurt your feelings or, someone to make you feel a certain type of way, you beat them to the punch by saying, I don't give a fuck about what you say. They can't hurt me. I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me. It's how you stay ahead of the game. It's how, you know what I'm saying, you protect yourself. I'm going to swing on you before you swing on me. And then when you do swing at me, because I'm already an asshole, I'm just going to come back at you because guess what? I don't give a about nothing you got to say. And that's exactly what it is. Shmoney said, I hate acting heartless. And that's what it is. If you pretend you don't care or you convince yourself that you don't care when people do things that would normally hurt you because you do care, then you save yourself the heartache and the pain in some cases. But being an asshole to me is definitely a sign of something else. It's definitely a sign of something else. Now, one thing too that I noticed that a lot of people do when it comes down to relationships is we spend a lot of time, we spend a lot of time getting caught up in the what ifs in a relationship. We get caught up in the um, we get caught up in the potential of a relationship. This person seems like they can really be this, or we can really be that together. This person has a great job. I have a great job. This person like to do this. I like to do this. We both get along. We both have a family. We both do this. We both like this type of music, or you know, they love people love them. People love me. I look good. She look good. He look good. And we get caught up in the idea of us and what we may look like when we're stepping into the presence of other people. Oh, there goes such and such and such and such. There go, B and J. It's a power couple. And so we do get caught up in that. Now let me read a couple of these comments real quick before I get caught up in that. So Emma Lover says, when you get screwed over your whole life, you learn not to let people get close to you. And that, to me, Lord, that is definitely a defense mechanism. Um, And I think for me, in my opinion, what I think, what I would probably tell a friend to do who's been in that situation, like if you and I were talking about it, um, I would tell you not to necessarily keep people at a distance, um, but don't ignore things because not everyone is a bad person, and everyone have problems, including you, including me. You know what I'm saying? Um, you don't have to pour yourself into people or let them into your personal space. However, sometimes we can be so distant, we can seem cold, we can seem mean, we can seem like an asshole, and we cut off our blessings like that. And it can hurt you in the long run. And we don't want to necessarily do that. I mean, that's not something you want to do. Um, so I would say, you know, watch what people do, watch what they say, watch how they move. I think everyone deserves a chance um, at some point, but you do have to be careful. I don't think you just should just immediately shut out everyone, but just watch them, pay attention. Because my thing is too, Laura, you didn't shut us out. You watched us closely. You listened to us, and then guess what? You've come around, and we consider we consider you a friend. And so let me go back and read some more of these comments. Tonya says, "Dang, that's true. Image plays um, an important part." Tanya also says, "Animal lover, I feel that." There was this smoke for sure. I ain't shame. Ain't no shame in walking away. The shame comes from staying. Now that's true, Velvet. There is no shame in walking away once you've tried and done what you can do. I mean, go ahead and take care of you. When you've had enough and you can't do anymore, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, let's see. Muck says most times when it seems I don't care, it's because I don't. I'm unable to hide the truth. Hiding is toxic to yourself. Who are you really? That's true. I agree with that, Mug. Tonya says it's hard to relax. Animal Lover says, I say I don't care, but I really do. But if people screw me over, it is on like hey, it's on like Dunker Kong. Hey, I feel you on that. I really do feel you on that because I'm like that too. I give people chances. I'll let you in. I try to hear people out. Um, I try to give people enough rope to let them hang themselves. What I've learned to do is not allow other people's reactions and what they say, what they do to rub off on me. Because believe it or not, toxic traits are contagious. They will rub off on you if you allow it. Because sometimes we get caught up in the tit for tat. You did this to me, so I'm gonna do this to you. You said this to me and hurt me. Now I got to do something to you to make you feel the way you made me feel because I can't let you win. I can't let you have the upper hand. And what's the point of going back and forth when at the end of the day you both feel like crap and it doesn't resolve anything? And now, yeah, now instead of them being the asshole, you both are. Let's see. Keisha says, yes, I will tell you how I feel and the things that I expect and the things that I expect. And if you continue to violate that, then I have to walk away. Right. Absolutely. If you tell a person, what it is that's bothering you, what it is that you need, and if they care about you, that person will most definitely try to work that out. They will try to meet you in the middle. They'll tell you what they expect and what they need, and you guys can come to an agreement. Either you agree to agree or agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? But either way, if y'all care about each other, you will definitely try to work and make sure the other is happy without, forgetting your own happiness. Laura says, I have a few people who have opened the door and pushed their and push their asses out. Okay. Muck says, yes, they can rub off. They most certainly can. Sonia says, I give people way too many chances. And I think that's a part of my toxic traits. Now, that is that uh, that is true, Sonia. A lot of us don't know our limits, and we do give too many chances, and we do have to be able to say enough is enough. We do. We do. Not like Velvet said earlier, I can try, but after I've tried, then it's gonna be time for me to walk away. Let's see. Velvet says, I'm not mad, I just believe in why fight for something that's not I believe in why fight for something that's not gonna work. Peace, I'm out. That's true, Velvet. Once you recognize that you've tried, they've tried, or they've not tried, then what's the point in continuing, this battle that's not going anywhere? You told them how you feel. Y'all have had the argument. Y'all have tried to do this. Y'all made these agreements and it's still not working. Yeah, sometimes you just got to let it go. What we got to remember too is sometimes you just aren't compatible. Even if you want it to work, sometimes it's just as simple as that. You're not compatible. Let's see. Lord says, I only give two people chances. Sonia says, Lord, with the last situation, I gave so many chances, and it should have been done after chance number one. Keisha says, sorry, I think it's because you want them to love you the way you want to be loved. But one thing about people, you can't make them do anything. That's absolutely true. Keisha, you cannot make people do anything. You can't make them love the way you love. You can't make them communicate the way you communicate, talk the way you talk. The only thing you can do is tell them what it is that you need and hope that, you know, they hear you and that they try to meet you there. But you definitely can't make anyone do anything that they don't want to do. Sonia says, with my last situation, I think I wanted it to work so badly that I overlooked a lot of shit. And that'll happen. That will definitely happen, especially if, like I was saying a few minutes ago, if if the potential for the relationship to be something great is still it's still in your mind, or the moments when things were great still in your mind. We get stuck on trying to get back to what was, and what could be, instead of dealing with the now and what is. Like, seriously, think about that. How many times have you stayed in a relationship because you were trying to get back to what it used to be, or because you had this vision of what it could be? If only she would do this, if only he would do this, if only we could do this, if only we had done this, if only she wouldn't have done that, he didn't do this. The if onlys, right? But we got to learn to deal with right now. We got to learn to deal with that. And we have to be honest with ourselves. One thing about accountability is, with accountability comes acknowledgement. We have to acknowledge things that aren't working, and it hurts. It hurts so bad to have things, to have to tell yourself, man, this ain't working. It hurts so bad. Man, this person really may not love me. I really thought this person cared. And they may not. They may not give two, they may not give a damn. Let's see. Animal Lover says, I told my husband I wanted to feel love. I don't feel appreciated. And once you told him that, Lord, that was all you had to do, was make it known how you felt. Now the ball is in his court to help you with that, to do his job. Now it's not 100% on him for you, for you to make sure you get that. Because my thing is this: if you continue to feel unloved or unappreciated, then at some point you have to make a decision on what it is that you want to do. Is it a deal breaker for you? Is what you have to realize, have to figure out for you. If you don't feel love, is that a deal breaker? Keisha says, Animal Lover, take away the things that he doesn't appreciate. I bet you he appreciates them. He'll appreciate them then. Mm. Sonia says, the things that were overlooked were things that no one should ever overlook in a relationship. And sometimes, Sonia, those things that we overlook, man, we'll think that if we don't say it out loud, If we don't say it out loud, then it doesn't make it real. If we don't acknowledge it, it doesn't make it real. If no one else knows about it, it doesn't make it real. If they know about it and we don't discuss it, we can act like it never happened. That's so toxic to us. Like you become toxic to yourself because at that point you're not taking care of you. What are you afraid of in that moment? We have to figure out when we hold on to things that aren't good for us, why are we holding on? What are we afraid of? That's the thing. That's the thing. Remember when I talked about in my last video, not the one from yesterday, but the first video, when I talked about your toxicity in your relationship is a direct result of your toxic relationship with yourself. That means you're toxic to yourself. You're not dealing with what you need. So that means there is something missing with you. And we got have to figure out what that is. Well, you have to figure out what that is. Tanya says it hurts. And sometimes you feel stupid for letting it happen. You do. And that's true, Tanya. You do. Tanya saying, yes, it hurts when you put so much time into something and it doesn't work. That hurts. Tanya says, I was an accident fuck buddy. And I felt stupid for letting myself get in that situation. Sonia says, ever for a long time after I left, I was emotionally and mentally unstable, had to realize that it wasn't me or anything that I did. So there was no need to continue to make myself suffer. Animal says, the way people treat you has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. Sonia says, okay, I read that part. Sonia says, for a long time, I hid the truth from my family because of the shame of what happened. Right. And let me go back. It was something somebody said. One thing it was Sonya. Let me go back and read that. I was emotionally and mentally unstable. And I realized that it wasn't what I did. Let's see. There was no need to continue. Okay. Laura says the way that people treat you has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. Now, with that being said, Laura, you're right. How they treat you has everything to do with them. What you allow has everything to do with you. So if people continue, if a person treats you a certain way and you don't tell them, hey, when you said X, Y, and Z, when you did X, Y, and Z, it made me feel this way. That's on you to make sure you tell them. That's accountability on you, right? You have to make sure you speak up when you're not comfortable with something. Now, um, if you don't say anything, then they're going to continue to do that. But if you say something and they continue to do it anyway, that's a lack of respect. That's a lack of regard for your feelings. And hell, they may not necessarily love you or have some issues of their own. What you have to determine at that point is whether or not it's a big enough issue for you to want to walk away. Or if it's something, hey, are you going to give one more chance? Look, maybe I wasn't clear the first time. Hey, I said this. Maybe I need to let me tell you because I know sometimes people don't get it right the first time, and then here it is. And sometimes y'all, I'm not gonna lie. In some cases, depending on what it is, people may need a second chance because people don't change overnight. People don't change overnight. Depending on what it is, it may only take one conversation. Sometimes it may take two times. It may. We got to be realistic, y'all. I'm not saying, we got to be fools. There is a difference, but we have to be realistic. Some people, he's like, okay, all right. Sometimes we do have to, okay, I'm going to tell you this, but after that second time, and it's clear that it's a bucket, they don't care. Move on. Some people you can see them trying. So we have to be honest with what we see. If you see the effort, not an honest effort, not a half-ass effort where they just do enough to shut you up, but you see someone that's actually trying, then you can be like, okay, well, I see you trying. I can give you, I'll give you this, okay, whatever. We'll try it again. But if someone just flat out don't give a damn, then at that point, it's time to let it go. It's time to move it, keep it moving. Let's see. Zion says people sure don't change. And Keisha said people change sometimes and it's called growth. People change all the time. Sometimes people get worse or they get better. But we always change. We always change. Either we change for the better or we change for the worse. Either that bad habit that you had has either grown to something bigger and worse, or you caught yourself doing it and you tried to stray away from it or moved away from it, and you may have gone in and tapped into some other bad habits. But people do change. No one stays the same. Now, let's see. Sonia says, "Child, I even offered a solution on how he can clean up his shit, and the shit still never changed. He just told me what I wanted to hear." Now, see, when people do that, it's because they have no fear, really, that you're gonna go away. They figured you out. Let me say this. If I say that, or if I say this, then that'll be enough. Someone said earlier tonight about don't tell me you love me, show me. I think Zion was saying something along those lines. But sometimes you have to make people show you. And if they can't show you, you show them. And it's, y'all, I'm sitting here on this panel right now, talking, doing all this talk. But I swear to y'all, it is so much easier said than done. Like, it is so much easier said than done. We want to be tough. We'll be like, yeah, if you don't love me, if you don't treat me right, I'm out the door. But man, think about those times you were in love and the things you put up with, the things you overlooked, that in a clear head, you be like, hell no. You talking to a friend and your friend is telling you what they are going through, what they're dealing with, and the first thing you be like, girl, it couldn't be me. But it could be. It just so happened that it's not you, because you're not the one in love with that person. You got your own thing going on. Sonya says he thought I'd never leave because so much had gone on and I stayed. Ha, food you little black. Well, hey, and that's what happened. People will take you for granted because you've given them so many chances and they forget that people get fed up. People get tired. Sometimes you get exhausted and you have no other choice but to leave. People can beat you down so bad to where, in order for you to even make it and survive, you just have to walk. You have to pull yourself out the door or push them out the door. Walk away. Sometimes we go in silence, and sometimes y'all, when we when we're walking away or getting away from it, we have to we don't do it all big, bag, and strong where, we just like, get the hell out of my house. Or we just pack up our bags and leave. Sometimes we just go silent. We may not do the things that we used to do, say the things that we used to say, talk the way we used to talk, spend as much time together as we used to. The things that you guys used to enjoy, you don't do anymore. You don't enjoy it anymore. Laura says sometimes we have to love them enough to let them go. Sometimes we have to love us enough to let go. Hey, Ashley. Hey, too. Hey. Now, nail test, I'm not sure who you are, but hey, thank you for coming. Sonia says you have to be careful how you judge people's relationship because that shit can come right back and bite you in the ass. That is absolutely the truth. Nail test says you are deep diving and you are right on point. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. And Ashley, don't worry about being late, boo. You know we love you, girl. Okay, Nelman. I figured it was you. I wasn't too sure, but I figured it was you. So I didn't throw my antennas up for real because I saw the nail. But okay, boo. And thank you, Muck. But y'all, um, let me go back. Somebody said something. Yeah, Sonia says you have to be careful how you judge people relationship because it'll come back. You are absolutely correct. We always talk a good game, y'all. We can give man. Think about how many times you've had a friend, relative, cousin, sister, brother, somebody. Hell, sometimes in these panels, people come and they have these problems, and you can give the best relationship advice or advice on how to handle this person or this situation. I mean, you giving them the best advice you've ever told in your life, but then will turn around and in your own situation have a brain fart and can't even think of anything to tell yourself about a situation. Thank you, Mug, for sharing me out. I appreciate it. But think about that, y'all. How many times have you been able to give your friends, loved ones, the best advice, but when you needed that advice, you couldn't think of it for yourself? Ain't that something else? But that's what happens when you get caught up in your emotions and in your love and your pain. Sometimes it does, it clouds your judgment. And that's why we have to make sure that we are taking time for us to hear us. We have to take, hey, Cinema, welcome. Thank you for coming on in. Happy Tuesday. What's going on? And Sonya says, that's me all day. Can't ever think of how to give myself advice. Right. Ashley said, that's facts. I feel like the best advice come from someone who has experienced things the hard way or things we're still trying to learn from. Right. And so y'all, I mean, we just let's see, Ashley says it's hard to take your own advice, especially when you're already struggling with it. Right, y'all. It's so hard to actually hold yourself accountable for your own experience. It's so hard to hold yourself accountable for speaking up and fighting for we talk such a good game, man. I'll never let a person talk to me like that. I'll never put up with that in a relationship. Well, we talk such a good game, but when you're in love and you want something, you will deal with a whole lot, and you'll do it in secret because you talk so much mess. You told so much to your friends and family members to where now you're going through it and you don't have anybody else to talk to because you done talk such a good game to everybody else. And as soon as you tell them, they'll be like, well, yeah, what was all that mess you were talking? Didn't you just tell me to do this? Why you don't take your own advice? Because it's easier said than done. It goes back to, again, wanting things to work so bad. Like, man, man, I really wanted this. Man, they seem like such a good person. We had so much potential. So again, we go back to the what ifs. The what ifs. And Sonya says, all the while you were going through that shit at home after lying to your people. Right. Sometimes we be in relationships suffering in silence because we are too embarrassed to tell people that you over there being a damn fool. Okay, Lord. Sometimes we are. Sometimes we can be just straight up slap dog fools for somebody. But we learn from that. Everybody in this chat, I don't care what you say, you been somebody fool. You may not have been a fool long, but you were a fool. If you're not being one today, you maybe some of y'all may be being a fool right now and don't want to admit it. But you have to admit it. And the thing about it is having toxic traits in relationships, whether it's you or the person that you're with, doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is over. If you love them and they love you and y'all want it enough, y'all can talk that thing out, decide what you need to do. If you guys can't work it out together, but you still want to try, going to counseling is always an option. They have couples counseling. You don't have to be married to do that. If you and that person want to have a future together, y'all been together for a while, y'all invested in some things. Y'all want to have some things? Take your butt to counseling. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Most jobs offer it. Go ahead and take advantage of those sessions and see if you can get some tools to work things out. And then after that, you know what I'm saying? If it don't work, then let it go. Like Velvet said, she'll try and walk away. But the thing about it is too, is you gotta realize that you can't be the only one fighting for it. Welcome back, Lord. Thank you for coming back, boo. But you can't be the only one fighting for your relationship. If you're the only one fighting, if you're the only one trying to make it work, you're the only one putting in time, then you got to recognize that it is what it is. Say, you the only one. You can't do it by yourself. How you going? You can't be in a relationship by yourself. That ain't a relationship. Mm-mm. And as a matter of fact, if you keep holding on to someone that's not invested in your relationship, what does that mean? They're holding someone else's seat. They're occupying a space. Somebody can't get to you because you holding on to them. Sonia says, my ex and I had so much potential, and he just couldn't let his other girlfriends go. So his ass had to go. Right. Look, we ain't sharing over here. Sonia says, I knew I was in a toxic space when I wanted to put my hands on him and started throwing shit at him. Well, now that'll tell you that's it. When you become violent, yeah, you definitely in a toxic space. Most definitely. Zion says, exactly, it takes two. Ashley says it takes two to fix a relationship, that's for sure. Laura says, I've been married for over 18 years, been through a lot. Angela says, that's how you know, Sonya, for real. That's how you know. Velvet says, my first relationship was like that. Then light bulb came on. And my next line was peace. I can't. Sonya says, that's true. But yeah, y'all, we most certainly have to be honest with ourselves, y'all. Man, like that's some real stuff. That's some real stuff. And Sonya said, Ashley, y'all know my ass ain't violent. Right. But y'all, with these relationships and toxicity, we can't we can't sit and allow ourselves to be in pain. We can't sit still and allow people to hurt us because we want it to work so badly. We waste our time. Um, we waste our energy. Think about all the time we've wasted on people that weren't worthy. The energy we invested into them, where even if we weren't in another relationship, we could have invested all of that time, love, and energy into ourselves. We we stay in those relationships and we become toxic to us because we are so busy trying to make it work that we forget about our needs, and we start trying to do everything to satisfy them, thinking maybe I can save it if I can get him to do this or get her to do this or maybe get them to see my worth. No, we have to see our own worth. You got to see your worth. You got to love yourself enough. You put all your energy into loving them and you don't forgot to love yourself. You can't forget to love yourself. Ashley says, I know you aren't violent, but I know you can take it there if need be. And Ashley, we all can. But when you allow a person to take you there, yeah, it's time to walk away. It's time to step away. If you've allowed yourself to get so angry that you become violent, you have to step away. And then sometimes, y'all, it may not even be that the relationship, or I'm sorry, let me say this: the person is that bad. It's the situation and the way we've chosen to handle it. Because not all of us can deal with certain emotions. I believe that when Sonya decided to do that, it was because she had held on to so much pain and so much anger and so much hurt that when she decided to let it out, she exploded. She held on to so much. She became toxic to herself and she had an explosion. Everything that she was holding on to, everything that she kept bottled up, the things, those tears that she cried silently because she couldn't cry out loud because she couldn't be honest with herself about what was going on. If I cry out loud, even when I'm by myself, it makes it real. That means I have to do something about it. But if I cry silently, if I stay silent, maybe, just maybe, I can make it work before it's over or before someone sees the truth. We can't do that. Nope, I've done it before. You can't do that. Time is of the essence. We don't have much of it. People love to say, we're young, we got all this time. You a damn lie. No, you don't. You only live once. Once. Live your damn life. Love yourself. Get all out of life that you can. Get it all. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that you go out here, being an asshole to people and telling them that their feelings don't matter. No, you just make sure that you tell them what you need. Make sure that you're able to satisfy you, that you're happy with who you are, so that you're not dependent on other people to make you happy. Sonia says, I feel like I can't let myself get into another situation such as that. I ignored all the signs and red flags because before it won't happen again. Ashley says, if a person can trigger that side of you, that person is not for you. Animal Lover says, I am still working on loving myself. Zion said, you have to be willing to put in the work in order to grow in a relationship. The work, Zion, the work. That word work is intimidating to so many people. It's intimidating. People forget that it takes work. They look at other people's relationships, they see the movies, they see the TV shows, and it's like, dang, I want that. It just comes easy. No, there is work. There is work. There is work. So, Tanya said that's when it's time. Sonya says sex, twin. That's exactly what happened. Devil says every time you do that, you lose a piece of yourself, and it's harder to walk away. I love myself so much. Keisha says, I love what's going on in here. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Keisha. But y'all, we gotta learn to love us. We have to learn ourselves though. Like not only do we have to love ourselves, we have to learn ourselves. Hey Serena Boo, thank you for coming in. We have to learn what it is that we need. What is it that makes you happy? How many of y'all are sitting here right now and you can come up with all the generic or the general things that will make you happy, but what really makes you happy? What really makes you feel good? Because we can say all day long that, oh, I want flowers and someone that take me on dates. You may not give a damn about going to the movies. I've gotten so many flowers, y'all, and I don't never take care of them. I'll be like, damn, they done bought me these flowers. I got flowers and they stink. I hate the smell of real flowers. But in my mouth, I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. No, go ahead and tell that person. I don't really like flowers like that. So they won't keep buying you a bunch of stuff you don't like. They think you're happy and you're not. You have to learn the things that you like. Don't like them because your friends say they like them. Oh, I love when a man do this. I love when a woman do that. So now you think because all your friends like it, you got to like it too. No, what makes you happy? Don't let other people tell you what makes you happy. You decide that. You take time to get to know you. Laura says, I need to find myself. I've been taking care of everyone else for so long. I don't know who I am anymore. And you most definitely have to get back to that, Laura. That's why last week during the live, when I was asking all of those questions about, what it is that you want, what motivates you, it's about us. Sometimes we get away from us because we're too busy trying to take care of family and friends. We have to be whole. They don't want the broken us. They want the whole us. The broken side of us, you know, will hurt people, cuss people out, have moments of stress where we're lashing out and all this kind of stuff. Or hell, sometimes it'll make you sick. Stress makes you sick, y'all. It will make you sick. Sonia says, thanks, Velvet. It took me almost 4 years to leave, but I got the strength to get the hell out, get the hell away from me. Right. Zion says, you can't love no one else unless you love yourself. Ashley says, I come up with things that will make me happy, but I had to figure out who I was first. A lot of things I thought I enjoyed were really things that I adopted from relationships. Ashley, talk about it. Yes, y'all, we do. Hey, Ralph's Kitchen, thank you for coming in. Thank you. Welcome. And if you can, please, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe if you enjoy the content that you hear tonight. Definitely please hit the like button if you're enjoying what you're hearing. But Ashley, sis, you really tapped on something there. You, we get so caught up in loving the other person, we start adopting things that they like that don't bring us satisfaction. I'm gonna use this for example. My last relationship, he used to love to watch movies, Netflix, all kind of stuff, and I would be so caught up in it. I will every day, watching movies, binge watching this, binge watching that, doing this and doing that, watching all kind of movies. I was excited about that. Then, since we broke up, I ain't binge watching nothing. I watched a little Grey's Anatomy, but all that stuff we were watching, I don't care nothing about it. I don't even miss it. I don't even know why. I got one cable box in my house, and that's just me because I'm old, have an old soul, and I don't want to let it go. But I don't even know why I still have that. But seriously, those are things that he enjoyed, and because I was with him and it was something he enjoyed, I did it. Now the things that I enjoyed, I realized after we broke up that we didn't do. I had gotten away from everything that I enjoyed. I didn't make time. I stopped making time to do the things that I enjoyed. Everything that I did with him. What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? They involve just you. That's why it's so important to have me time, time for self care. We have to sometimes be like, you know what? I need a day to myself. I need a day with my friends. And separate, have a break. Sometimes we need that. Animal Lover says one thing that makes me happy is working out and art. And see, if you know that makes you happy, then that's great. Some things it's just about you. Serena says most things that really make me happy only involve myself or my son. My problem is trying to figure out what other people do that truly adds to my happiness. Sonia says, me too, twin. I barely watch TV anymore. And Laura says, I spend time alone doing art. Well, see, going back to Serena, she said again, most things that really make me happy only involve myself or my son. My problem is trying to figure out what other people do that truly adds to my happiness. Hmm. Now, Serena, in my opinion, um, when you talk about what other people do that add to your happiness, are you talking about relationship wise? Because if you're in a relationship and you and your significant other are sharing ideas and stories and what it is that you like to do with your personal time. Well, I like to do this, I like to do that. That's how you start finding that out. I mean, of course, you know that in conversation. Um, but can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Help me understand um, what you mean by that. Let's see. Sonia says, I've seen your diamond art, Lord, and it's beautiful. I need to get into that. Okay. Neville says, in my first relationship, he wanted all my time and wanted me to wait for his, and other stuff like that, and other stuff like that. A lot of little things became big, and I said enough. Now that was very toxic. When a person wants all of your time, they don't want you to spend time with friends or family members. That's when they start making you isolated. You have to beware of people who try to isolate you. Why is it that you don't want me to be around my friends and my family? What are you afraid of? What are you trying to prevent? What exactly are you trying to do to me? Those, for me, those are red flags. Now, it's one thing to be like, well, I had a date night plan for us. Okay. But every time I want to go with my family, all of a sudden, it's a special date night. Or every time I go somewhere with my friends, you got to tag along. No, sometimes, I need some space. Not that I don't love you or want to be around you, but that's definitely a red flag, and it's very toxic. And Sonya is right. That sounds like a sign of control, which can oftentimes lead to abuse. Because once they get you isolated and get you away from everything, what that's why I said, what are you trying to do to me? What's next? What's up? What do you have planned? Why are you afraid of me having people around? Because I'm gonna be like, nope. Let me go and call my daddy right now. Let me go and call my brother right now. Because it sounds like you up to something. And just in case, I need somebody to be like, hey, she ain't said anything in a couple of hours or a day or so. Let me go over here and check on her. No, you're not doing that. Yeah, that's a big flag, red flag. Now, Serena says, my boyfriend and I had a conversation. I'm sorry, not boyfriend. Well, it says my boyfriend, or I guess BFF, had a conversation, and she's looking for a man to come along and make her happy. I feel like happiness is within, so I was trying to get her to see you want someone to add to your happiness, not bring it to you. Man, Serena, that is absolutely the truth, because Serena says, because once he's gone, now you're stuck finding yourself again. If that makes sense, that makes um absolute sense. It makes all the sense in the world. That's why you got to understand what it is that you want. You have to be happy. You got to be able to love you. You have to know your own worth and not allow other people to determine that. See, what it is once you know your worth and you realize that the other person doesn't see it, that's when you know, oh, you don't see my worth? Hell, I'm worth $1 million. You don't see that? Well, then you don't deserve me then. It hurt my feelings that you don't see it, because I look so good, but you know what? All right, I'm gonna have to be out of here. I'm gonna have to go ahead and let it go. I tried. I was hoping. Ashley said personal space is important in a relationship. Being controlling like that usually ends up with physical abuse. Ashley, I agree. That is definitely a sign of physical abuse. Laura says, my husband and I do everything together, but we are best friends. And this doesn't mean doing everything with your spouse doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Where it becomes a problem is when you want to do something separately and they have a problem with it. Like I'm sure, Laura, when you get ready to paint by yourself, your husband is not flipping over tables, stomping his feet, acting a fool because you want to paint by yourself. Hey, Rhonda, thank you for coming in. Ah, dang. Rhonda, that sucks. Hey, yeah, We've been here a little over an hour. I'm not gonna be on too much longer, but we got a little time. We got some time. Let's see. Ashley says it's okay to spend time together. Hold up. Oh yeah, Ashley says it's okay to spend time together. Even like Laura said, her hubby do everything together, but it has to be by choice, not by force. Absolutely. I'm sorry if you try to control me. I'm gonna beat your ass and leave you because I don't have time. Absolutely, Ashley. Absolutely. Ain't nobody got time for that. And Laura says, I tell him to go play. Right, you go do you. I'm gonna do me. We gonna take this time, to do what we need to do to be us to grow. And that's what keeps things interesting though in a relationship. When you're doing your thing and you're growing, and they're doing their thing and they're growing, and you come back and like, babe, guess what I did today? Guess what I accomplished today? You have something to share. Dang, babe, you're doing great. And you want to be able to share accomplishments. You want to be able to have them to support you in that. And you know what I'm saying? You want to be, hey, like, look at my dress. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be celebrated. We want accomplishments that are our own. And there is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Velvet says my last relationship ended 11 years ago. And boy, it is refreshing. I feel so sorry for folks who can't and won't walk away. Well, see, in Velvet, a lot of people are afraid of that right there. You said it ended 11 years ago. You know what I mean? That people are afraid of being alone. And the thing about it is, not being in a relationship doesn't necessarily mean you're alone. Work on you. You have friends, you have family members. Okay, fine, build those relationships. What we do tend to do from time to time is look at our friends and their relationships and, our relatives and their relationships and all of that. And we be like, damn, I want that. But sometimes they're struggling. Remember that time you was, struggling and loving and, I'm sorry, excuse me, suffering in silence. Sometimes they're going through that too. So you don't all the time look at other people's situation and wish you had what they had. Because sometimes you just don't know. And Serena, you're right. Walking is hard sometimes. We talked about that earlier tonight, earlier in the live. It's easier said than done. Daslene says, I'm not afraid of being alone. I just don't like being alone. I like being in a relationship. It makes you uncomfortable. Being alone can make you feel uncomfortable. But to me, um, if you're uncomfortable with being alone, I feel like you may still you may still have some more growing and work to do personally. Because sometimes I feel like um, you may have moments where you be like, damn, I wish somebody was here. I wish I had somebody to share this with. Um, I don't think it should necessarily, and I'm not saying this is your case, Sonya. I'm not saying that either. I'm just talking in general. If it affects your happiness, if you're depressed because you don't have a relationship, or okay, okay, Zion, if you're sad because you're not in a relationship, like that kind of thing, it's like, okay, well, that's because you're still looking for someone else to validate you. And again, Sonya, I'm not saying that's you. I'm just talking in general. Excuse me, y'all. Sometimes we be like, you've heard people say, damn, what's wrong with me? Why I can't find a good person or a good man, good woman? That's because you ask that question because you're looking for someone else to validate you. Validate yourself. Get caught up in you. Get so wrapped up in you that you don't even notice it. I've actually had the opportunity to do that. I was so caught up in me and what I was doing, I didn't even realize I was single until someone approached me, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I am single." I didn't even think about it for real. Laura says I am more afraid of ending up like my mom. My dad left when all of us were kids. Turn, Turned 18, so it is hard. Velvet says that's one thing my dad taught me, among other things. Ain't and can't nobody or no one love you like you should, and will love yourself. Okay. My dad stayed 100 with me. Right. Serena says my experience did that. As soon as the youngest left to go to college, they split. But all of the kids were happy because they were both visibly miserable. Mm. Now that's something to talk about too, Serena. People staying in toxic relationships because they're trying. Oh, we're staying for the kids, and don't stay for the kids. You're gonna mess them up. You're gonna teach your kids to accept things that they shouldn't, to ignore their feelings. Sometimes your kids get tired of hearing the BS. Oh, y'all need to let this go. I can't sleep at night. You're keeping your kids up at night. It's stressing them out because you aren't mature enough to walk away, or because you think you're doing them a favor. Kids, little kids notice things. I remember being as young as 3 or 4 years old, hearing my parents have an argument. I was look as a kid. I'm like, okay, I don't care nothing about y'all splitting up. Y'all getting on my nerves anyway. Rhonda says, since this is my first time being single, I haven't had anywhere to hide the dark parts of me. I have to sit and deal with them for the first time. It's hard, but it needs to be done. Right. It absolutely has to be. It has to be done. It's so hard, y'all. It's so uncomfortable with dealing with yourself. When you realize that you are fucked up, I don't mean to cuss at y'all like this, but some of us we are fucked up, and we all this time we've been thinking, I'm so good, I'm a great person, I got this nice big old heart, and then sometimes you just be like, well, damn, I ain't shit. I'm sorry to cuss at y'all like this, but that's the reality of it. Now, Laura says, us kids were miserable. My parents didn't take care of us. They only left us money. Serena says they thought they were staying together for the kids and the kids wanted them apart. Ashley says you better preach in. Saint says a lot of kids carry the weight of their parents because they fight all the time and it stresses the babies out. Absolutely. Ashley says just because the kids don't say anything, it doesn't mean they don't notice. Kids notice everything. They don't miss a beat. Ashley, I remember being a kid not missing anything. Hey, Tika. Hey, Riri. Thank y'all for coming in, loves. Glad to see y'all. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, kids don't miss anything. They see it. They are nosy. Yeah, and then those arguments that parents have, I don't know if they think closing the door works or not, but sometimes walls be paper thin. Paper thin. You think kids don't notice body language? They notice body language. You got 1 and 2 year olds that'll catch an attitude with you, roll their eyes and fold their arms up. They know body language. They're 1 and 2 years old. So you think they won't pick up on you? So y'all, we just have to learn to be honest. Don't ignore, don't ignore these traits that our partners um show to us when they reveal themselves. Hey, B Charmer told me one time when a person, well, recently, when a person reveals to you who they are, believe them. And I think Oprah or somebody said it once before. But it's the truth. It is the truth. Sonya says those same kids carry some of those abusive traits and treat other kids like that. That is true. because it's learned. It's learned behavior. It's learned behavior. And Tanya says abusive. Absolutely. You can be abusive to friends. Kids go to school and be abusive to teachers. They become bullies because they're stressed out with everything that's going on at home. So what do? They go to school and they release all that tension. Sometimes they can't do it at home because mom and dad will, whoop them or put them on punishment. So they go to school and lash out. Serena says my mom and stepdad had a terrible relationship. I remember being like 12 and they were physically fighting. So I hit him with a bat and I got in trouble. Right. See what I'm talking about? Laura says it taught me not to be like my parents. Serena says you wouldn't know I turned 18 and got into a similar relationship. It's so much better to just leave. It absolutely is. You can't be in a relationship for two that makes no sense. Sonia says they act out in other places, right? Serena says I was the opposite. I fell into the pattern. And that's the risk that you run when your parents that try to tough it out. You run the risk of your kids repeating that behavior. You teach them what to accept and what not to. You also teach them that, well, my parents loved each other, so this is what love is. Nope, no, it's not. You have to teach your kids what self love is. And the thing about it is, you can't tell them because they'll be like, well, you said this, but you're doing this. Some people are visual learners. So what you gonna do if your kid is a visual learner? They ain't heard nothing you said, but they see everything you do. They see everything you do. Velvet says that Serena, that's why so many choose to walk away or act like they don't notice because the person they try to help turn on them. Right. That's right. So what Velvet is talking about is when you see people out in public or family members and friends going through a physical argument or altercation with a significant other or even a, someone else, family member or friend, and you try to intervene and they turn on you. People be like, I'm just gonna mind my business, you know? And so Serena says that's what I thought was normal. Right. She had been exposed to those type of things so long. Hey, people who love each other, they fight it out. May the best man or woman win. That's not how that goes. That's not love. That's insanity. Mm-mm. I'm not gonna let you beat on me or fight, swing on me, so you can prove how much you love me, or I prove how much I want us to work out. So I'm gonna fight you to stay. No, nope. What kind of mess is that? Don't do that. Don't you do that, and don't allow your kids to see you do that. Laura says I rarely saw my parents growing up. Hmm. And see, you definitely want to make sure that you love on your kids because they learn from you. And even if you can't be present with your kids, at least allow them to be in the presence of someone you know is going to love them the right way. Serena says, how my mama gonna be mad at me for protecting her? And it's so crazy because folks will be like, you gotta stay in a child's place. They'll tell you all the stuff to do, all the things you did that was wrong, but they can't tell themselves. They can tell you everything that you did wrong from the beginning to the end. But when they go in their room by themselves or they're done yelling and fussing at you, they can't even admit to themselves all the ways they were wrong. Keisha says, oh no, don't you dare try to hit me. Uh, right, right, Keisha, that part. Velvet says, be careful when dysfunction becomes functional. That's dangerous. Absolutely. Like Serena says, she thought it was normal. That happens in relationships too. You get so used to bickering and fighting and going back and forth to where you think it's normal. You think that's a part of relationships. And that's toxic. That's how toxic traits go from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship because you think that's how it works. If he ain't fighting for me, if he don't get mad when I do this, if he don't get jealous, she don't get jealous when I say X, Y, and Z, they don't love me. That's crazy. That don't make me. They not out here acting a fool. That doesn't determine whether or not they love you. That's toxic. Mm-mm. Ruth, I mean not Ruth. Reese says, true motherfucking story. I was reading a childhood friend bragging about how her daughter beat up her boyfriend with a pistol. And this was on Sunday. Why today I see a message with her and him on Facebook. Today in love. I'm done. Toxic, 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 dangerous. No. Bragging about violence, bragging about domestic violence. That's sad because a pistol was involved. That could easily turned into something more. Secondly, if somebody had called the police, that could have turned into something more. Records, arrests, the way things are happening with the police, you don't know what that could have led to. Serena says she saw what my ex and I went through. Now she apologizes to me about certain things, and she's happy we called it quits, so my son doesn't have to see what I saw. Right. The other says, "Read, that's a hot mess. That will most likely end badly, very badly." Reed says, "How safe are your children around him? Know that this just happened." Lord. Reed says he busted her nose, black eye, and they protected her. Well, they thought it was protection. Hmm. Lord. Reed says, I'm sorry, excuse me. Serena says, Reed, that sounds like Mayweather daughter stabbing that girl and getting right back with the boy. See, all of this, all that stuff is just an example of how many relationships out there are toxic. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Um, for instance, like Serena talking about Mayweather's daughter. This girl is a public figure, right? She's well known. Imagine how many teenage girls and boys are. Yeah, Lori. I'm not gonna be on probably but another 5 or 2 more minutes anyway. So yeah, I'll probably be on probably another 6 minutes. Well, probably 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna end. But imagine how many teenage girls, boys, young women, young men see them because you know it's gonna be on IG, the Shade Room, and other little social media platforms and stuff like that where people are gonna talk about it, and it's gonna be romanticized, and they're gonna think it's normal. Or instead of seeing their situation, looking at their own situation, thinking, "Oh, I need to get out of it," they're gonna be like, "We just like such and such and such and such. They love each other. They fighting it out." Mm-mm. Nope. So y'all, that being said, we have to learn to love ourselves. Learn what We're willing to accept and not accept. Um, Walk away when we've had enough. Walk away when we've had enough. Y'all hear me? Walking away when we had enough. Acknowledge it. If anything, acknowledge it. Acknowledge the toxic traits. And not acknowledge it within yourself. Acknowledge it within your partner. Acknowledge it within your relationship. Own the part that you play in it. If it's salvageable, work on it together. If you guys both want it to work. If you both want it to work. If you can't do it alone, go to therapy. There is nothing wrong with that. Go to therapy. If after therapy it still doesn't work, or just say your partner like, I don't want to do therapy. They don't want to work on it. Guess what? Let that thing go. Let it go. Let it go. Love yourself. Put yourself first. Your kids will see that and they'll appreciate you for it. They'll respect you for it. You'll respect yourself more. You'll be proud of you. You'll feel better. And sometimes it will hurt. It will be hard. It will always be hard. Because again, remember, y'all, we were looking at the potential. We were thinking about the what ifs or if onlys. Oh man, it could be this. But we have to deal with what is and the reality of it. And we can't be afraid of that, y'all. So for those of you, those of you who have not done so, please, if you can, go and watch my video that I released last night about toxic traits in relationships. I just dropped a few points, something that some things that we can all think about. But I want us to keep our eyes open. I'm going to continue to move forward with this series about accountability and trying to build healthy relationships, starting with ourselves and then moving on. Because if you don't have a healthy relationship with you, how do you expect to have one with someone else, right? Because whatever is going on the inside of you is going to show up in the relationship with them. The devil says, this is why I stay prayed up. And over my girls, I ask God to guard their hearts, minds, and bodies, and soul, and give them the strength to walk away. Right. We have to stay prayed up. We also have to listen. When you pray, you have to listen. God will tell you. So when God tells you, you better make sure you're ready for it, because He will let you know. So don't pray and ask Him, and then when He tell you, you don't want to listen. So be ready for what He says. Sonia says, thank you, Shan. This was good and much needed. Well, you're welcome, Sonia. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Muck. Thank you, Velvet. Thank you, Laura, Riri, Tika, Zion, if you're still in the bushes. Thank you, B Charmer, Serena, Tanya, Keisha. Thank all of y'all for your input, for your engagement tonight, y'all. I am getting a little short of breath. So I am going to go ahead and end the live, but I will be back next weekend with some more stuff. Because there's a lot more things that we need to cover, y'all. If y'all have any questions or comments, definitely please, 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 please leave your comments below this live stream or any of my videos. Also, feel free to reach out to me on IG. My name is the same there. But thank y'all. I love y'all. Yes, please run it back. Please play it back. So I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Love yourself first. Do what makes you happy. I'm still learning. Ashley, yes. Thank you too, boo. Thank you. But yeah, y'all, we gotta learn to love ourselves. Be charmer. I don't know if I said thank you. You still in the bushes. Thank you too, love. All right, y'all. Well, y'all be blessed. I will see y'all again next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, y'all. We gonna look. We gonna try to make sure we keep this thing going. Y'all be blessed. Love your kids, love yourself, and y'all have a great week, okay? Good night.